Hello everyone, welcome to HienUnplugged. Today we are going to talking about my favorite new manga. It is called The Promised Neverland, or in Japanese, Yakusoku no Neverland, by two senseis which are female, Shirai and Demisu. It was actually published in 2016, so I'm pretty late on this whole Yakusoku no Neverland train, but I still want to give it a go because I love this story so much, and that's why I recommend it to everyone. And I will name some reasons why you should totally read it and why this is the next big thing, or is the big thing already because I'm pretty late. It consists of 20 volumes that are all published already, and I saw actually an ad because it was published in German too, and normally if something is already published or will be published in German, it is probably really good because it has this wide range of audience, right? Only the best top of everything like Naruto, Dragon Ball is going to be published everywhere. That is why I actually started reading it, and I read it in one go. Like, I finished all 20 volumes in one day only. You know that when you love something so much that you just want to keep it going, you want to know how it ends. You even skim through a bit to just know what's gonna happen. So that's what I did. I read it in one go real fast. I skipped a bit on the details too, and then right after that, after I satisfied my hunger for that new manga, I read it again, just slower, and really took my time. So I want to tell you why I love this manga so much. So first of all, the story is super cool. It is super gripping and compelling, and the characters, of course, the story is compelling because of its characters and the character development. You know, like the big stories like Naruto, some of the scenes really remind me of Naruto, especially Emma, and it's just nice to see how they develop and how they face all of these challenges and overcome them. Second, I personally feel is really nice is that the main character, actually there are three main characters, yes, but one is like the main character, like Naruto, is Emma, and she is a girl, and I really like how, you know, stories are around female heroes and female protagonists. It's a work by a duo, like one is responsible for the story and one is responsible for the art. Both senseis are a female. Maybe that's the reason why the main protagonist is also female, which is really nice. The art is top-notch. You can see how the mangaka is using multiple angles in the backgrounds and the rooms, and how the main protagonist Emma is moving very dynamically. The proportions are perfect, nothing looks out of place, and the usage of the panels is just amazing. The panels are not like overloaded like the way you sometimes see it in One Piece, like it's just too many lines, too many details, you know, and you can't really have like a clean image. So this is not the case here. It is clean, but also just dynamic. And it has a lot of foreshadowing. You wouldn't even realize, you only realize that the second time you read it. It has like one cover, and it would give you a feeling of what the next chapter is about. The second time I've read this, I actually read the comment of the authors too, and they are just savage. It's so fun. The liveliness of the characters in the background. Look at the page 20, and of Connie, like the liveliness of the characters. She is so savage. This is so fun. It combines so many important concepts, like about life, what is family, what is home, what is morality, when is life livable. And this is one of the main concepts of this book too. It's a journey, and it just touches all of these concepts, and that's why it is so valuable, and it is so nice and so thrilling to read this, because you can really emphasize different characters with different strengths and different weaknesses, and just, yeah, that is really nice and compelling. I don't want to spoil too much, so I just want to talk to you about the first book now, and it consists of 7 chapters, and yeah, you will see that when you read the first pages, it is such good storytelling. It is like, you know the Disney movie Up, right? The love story that everybody is so nuts about, which is absolutely cool. I was literally crying there too. This is the same for the first 7 pages. Like, she builds, both authors build such an atmosphere that you are like feeling that something's gonna happen so soon, and you're immersing yourself into the story immediately. Children have are in an orphanage, and they have like ID numbers on their neck here. They wear white uniforms, and their daily life is very peaceful and very nice. They take daily tests, and they live in an orphanage which is surrounded by forest, and there's a gate to the outside world. In the page 23, they are already talking about, I wonder what it's protecting us from. The outside feels a bit creepy. There are like hints of monsters and stuff that they are protected from and stuff, right? So this is like everything in the first chapter. The mood is set in the first chapter already. The thing is, the authors don't wait very long. It's maybe even just a quarter of the book, like not even a quarter. You see this? It's not even a quarter of the book where the authors hit you. Truth. They, like Norman and Emma, encounter the monsters they were talking about. These are human-shaped monsters which are eating humans. So the orphanage, Gracefield House, is not an orphanage as we thought. It is a farm to produce human meat that is going to be harvested. That is the truth that they're facing right now, and the whole thing is like so shocking for them, because you live there and the orphanage is like your happy place, and they call you know, the person who is protecting their mom, who's not their real mom, of course. It's so nice to see how the authors just slowly and not really slowly, they're really fast, giving you new information just pages by page. So first of all, like Emma and Norman were like, what happened to mom? Was she eaten too? You know, fact can overturn our perspective of reality, and that is how it also is shown in the manga. The orphanage that was to protect them, why there are like these bars and stuff, was just not to keep them keep others outside, but to keep them inside. That was only chapter 1. You know, they don't wait at all. They just dive into it, and it's just like you're like grasping for air, because you're like for oxygen. You're like, what just happened? Like, this is too fast. So then the second chapter, the whole atmosphere changes too. Like, that's what I love about the authors. They change the atmosphere with everything. Like with the art, it's ominous, it is dark, and the language changes. So it's not an orphanage anymore, it's a farm. The kids are not adopted, but they are harvested. They're gonna be eaten. They are not children anymore, but they are livestock. You know, they change the whole language so that you can grasp their actual food. The food they are eating too, Norman says it's to feed. Like, it's feed. It's not food anymore, what we humans would eat. It's feed for the livestock then. So what I forgot to say is that they are taking tests every day, right? And Norman, Ray, and Emma are the most gifted. They always have 300 points in the test. And now it all makes sense to them, because they are slowly asking the right questions and trying to find the answers. Like, what is high-grade meat? What does the grade have to do with their rating? What is high-grade meat for this human-like demons? Theory that when children grow up, at 12, the brain is fully developed, and it seems to be more delicious the more developed it is. I don't know where they got the neurotron. That is one point where it's like not super concise. Take all the details together, that they have access to knowledge, having like a library, and that they have good food, and that they have time to play and have social contacts, having like a whole social interactional group with their siblings. And that totally reminds me of the movie The Island from Michael Bay, I think, where the end of the movie is that they say that if you clone only the organs, they are not livable, because humans need that kind of social interaction to grow healthily, and then where they can harvest the organs for the real person in the real world. Yeah, for everybody who knows that movie. And that kind of reminds me of that, because the whole setting of the orphanage is to make them grow into fine and healthy human beings, although they are just livestock in this case. Gonna switch to mom's perspective on page 108, and you finally realize that she is also an orphan because she has an ID number here. So she was livestock too, but there are humans obviously that are not meant to be livestock. So there are like huge questions, and they are going to be answered very slowly, but not in an unnatural way. Like, it's actually, you can actually see their struggle, because there are so many challenges coming up. They never stop, and they try to figure out how to escape this thing. It is, in the beginning, it's just Norman and Emma, and then later they tell Ray to join them and tell him the truth about what it's meant to be adopted, because these children are going to be shipped out. That's what they realize too when you're 12. Like 12 is a limit. The fourth chapter is the best option. They try to figure out how to escape this whole thing, and it's actually a roller coaster of thrill because it seems like they are trackable. And they realize it because Mom, who's the monster's minion, showed them a device that can track them, and they didn't know. And they're trying to figure out how they are trackable, and they make the discovery that it is a little chip that is implanted in their ear, so that it's easily removed too. So you know, it sounds easy when I say it, but the whole story in this is so good by moving you towards the solutions to every single problem. I don't like it if it's like too simple and they are just by accident found the truth and just realize everything in one go. It's not. You can actually feel the struggle the same way you would feel about Naruto. It's just so true that Emma reminds me of Naruto, because when Ray in chapter 4 joined them, he was like, we can't take everybody with us. It's only the 3 of us because we are 11 and we're going to be shipped out very soon, and so we are like physically able to escape. They're living in that orphanage, as I said, and there's a huge wall, and the gate is the gate to the outside world where the demons are waiting. He says we can't take everybody with us, and Emma doesn't take it that well. She is like, no, we're taking everybody with us. It's just a thing that I'm gonna do, and I'm going with it. I want everybody to be saved. And that is her vision. And he is like, she's an idealistic idiot. Norman, talk to her. She can't do this. It's just so stupid. It's not doable. And she does. She tries to. It's just a roller coaster of thrill. And then finally, while they're still figuring everything out, Mom is introducing Sister Crony or Crone, and they're like, oh shit, this is another challenge. Another adult is there, where they just try to think like Ray actually Ray proposed it as a good advantage for them, because now they have another source of information. Because if they want to escape, 3 things are important: the escape itself, how they're going to survive outside, and if there's anything outside, what is the outside world? Is there even a human world left? It is so interesting to see that they actually make best and worst scenario plans, and this reminds me of like real cases where you're like, okay, what is gonna happen? Like even in the pandemic, what's gonna happen worst case? What is going to happen best case? And that is why it's so real what they are doing. And the end of volume 1 is that you actually see the monsters having a meeting and talking about how they are going to have the harvest. Guys, this was my very first video. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you enjoyed it. I really love manga, so if you love manga too, I would be glad to read some comments on other mangas that you would recommend or not. Have a nice day. Thank you for joining me, and don't forget to subscribe. Bye!